Good morning. This is the first time we're getting to hear the 68 Pro Reverb uh, with the new speakers and the new baffle and everything in place. And, one of the most common questions I get asked, or that any tech gets asked, is it done yet? Is it done yet? Is it done yet? I'm not trying to rush you, man. Just want to know if it's done yet. Not trying to be a bother. Just want to know if it's done yet. It's not done yet. It's working. It's safe. There are some other things I need to fix now that I can hear the whole thing in the cabinet after it's been on about an hour and a half. Still has some plate resistors that need to be changed out. The noise floor is higher than it ought to be. Those two tubes you see up on top of it, that's one of the old RCA 7025s. It probably was original to the amp, and a JJ ECC 83. They were in V2 and V4, which is the preamp tube for the vibrato channel and the reverb mixer circuit for the vibrato channel. And those tubes are noisy. The tube sockets have been cleaned. They're noisy. I've got a pair of Muller 12AX7s in there for right now. The owner of this amp said that he had a whole bunch of tubes and not to worry about that. So I'm going to be testing this with tubes I know are quiet, make sure I can get all the rest of this background noise out, and then he can swap tubes around. So I've got to go back in. It's probably some of the old carbon comps. It's just a little bit hissy. And, it's probably not one or two. It's probably like four, making a cumulative higher noise floor with the guitar off. It's also audible with the volumes off and the reverb off. And this amp, when I'm done, will be silent. This is not about making it safe or only. It's also about making it sound great, making it worth the money spent to make it playable. This amp had so much wrong with it. If you go back to the first videos in this series, this is in its own playlist and also under the Vintage Fenders playlist. This thing needed a new baffle. The speakers were shot. The reverb tank didn't work. Needed all new filter caps because it had been done so poorly in the past. Whole bunch of work on this to get it to this point. And this point's sounding pretty good. But it doesn't sound great yet. The promise is very much there. Got a few more little things left to find, a few more pieces of the puzzle. The reverb is a little bit weak, and that's the tank, not the circuit. The owner says he doesn't use a lot of reverb. He doesn't need that to be changed out. That's fine. I've got the reverb here at 4.5, and it's about where it would be at 2.5 on most Fenders. If I turn it up a little bit, that tank is also kind of on the long and dark side of things. It's a 3-spring tank. The owner says he's fine with it. That's fine. There's no noise from the reverb anymore. Used to be a lot of hum and buzz from that. So I'm almost done. And it's always a temptation. Just, well, hurry up and finish it. Just whatever, that's close enough. And I hate doing that. I hate being in that position because we're so close to a truly great, memorable amp that you'll last for decades. And there's just so much great music can be made. And it'd be real nice to get rid of that background noise. Now, some of that background noise will be lowered a little bit once the chassis is clamped in place to the shield on top of the cab. But not all of it. So I need to get this a little bit quieter. the promise is enough that I think it will be totally worth doing the last stuff that the amp needs. So is it ready yet? No. But it is so nice and so close to being ready. By the way, a couple little things on this. The new speakers are a pair of WGS Veteran 30s, which are very similar to vintage 30s. At the beginning of this process, I spoke to the owner about the music he plays, and I thought that these, or vintage 30s, would be the sound he would want. And the tremolo does work, though I don't have the foot switch connected right now. But what I was going to say was, a lot of people said, that ain't no 68 Pro Reverb. 68 was silver panel with a drip edge. And yeah, they did go to the silver panel and the drip edge sometime towards the middle of 68. But this is one of the very many black panel 68s that were put out of the factory before they changed to the drip edge, before they changed to the silver panel. This is literally one of the very last black panel Fenders ever made from the 60s, or let's not count the 80s ones with similar cosmetics. In fact, there's a 94 twin amp in the background, which is technically a black panel, but it doesn't count.